We are live. Woo, 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 woo. And I'm very comfortable for this live because I kind of have that Christmas holiday rush, doing a lot. Almost feels like a hangover.
Yeah, and
Busy hangover.
I've had a wonderful time. Grandkids came, and which I've never actually had before, and and then my son left this morning. My youngest son left this morning. Actually, they're stuck in traffic in Florida, so please send them all safety and flow energy. Because
Flow like with the traffic. Well, although it might have been a better choice to drive than take a flight because of all the things that are going on there. Hi, Kat. Hi, Sue. Hi,
Sue and
Robin.
hi Katie.
Hi, Katie.
So
Yeah.
yep,
So,
hi.
so our vibe
So
of the week is a little bit late, but nonetheless important.
yes. Well,
Lots
and
of
we can
stuff
talk.
going on.
I mean, yesterday for the stars was a lot of stuff happening in the background that kind of relates to today anyway.
Oh, jeepers
Um,
creepers. Can you say
you
that
know,
again? Say that again because that exactly applies to what I'm going to be talking about. Say
there
it
was
again.
just a lot of things happening in the stars in the background in our structures yesterday. The moon was in Libra, and it was working in the background with both change and our Venus to restructure. And this is really, this Venus this week is really about the relationship with yourself. Yes, there's some weirder energy maybe around you, but
Ooh, feeling
you know,
that.
at the top is you. The big message is you've already begun to change, and wounds appear,
Hmm.
but you
Hmm.
have new perspective. And new is not spelled N-E-W, it's spelled K-N-E-W. So there's a
Ah,
knowing that you're taking into this new structure, this new stuff. So, but anyway, if you wouldn't mind sending the vibe out to my son Ian and his girlfriend Kara, who have been stuck. They should
safe
be out of the
travels.
state of Florida. They're not even to Ocala yet because there's been all kinds of major accidents. So, kind of send them some protection.
Yeah,
So, but this is
definitely.
this new perspective, KNEW.
Oh,
It's in the knowledge and just something we brought back from other times, and we're kind of
oh
synthesizing
boy.
them.
If that
So,
doesn't fit exactly with what I got, because last night I had a hard time sleeping, and I don't know why I had a hard time sleeping, but I kept getting all these things, all these thoughts, I should say, coming into my head. And when I woke up, I had the sense that I was being given things or guided to things from spirit, that information was just coming to me. And it felt like stuff that I maybe already knew, okay, like knew stuff
KNEW,
about.
yep. Hmm.
And it felt like changes, and it felt like stuff I should know. But the overarching thing felt like it was like I was having a brainstorming session with spirit. So they were saying this and this and this and throwing all these things at me. And, I'm kind of like, what? Like, you want me to do what? Or what? That's crazy. Those ideas, things that were coming. But then I got to the place where, okay, I'm just about receiving. Because when you're brainstorming, you're not figuring out the minutia, the small details. You're just taking the idea in. So it felt like the ideas were coming to me, but I was to let go of the how is that going to happen? What's that going to look like? And letting go of the lack of knowledge or skills or someone to maybe help me, or even on the how it's going to transpire. I had to let all of that go because I had to just stay in that brainstorming. So I'm writing all this stuff down and thinking, okay, I have no idea how I'm going to do, number one, all of these things and how they're going to happen and that kind of stuff. But again, I had to keep going back to that. It's not about that. It's about the brainstorming. It's about that. I'm telling you, you're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And if you think about when you go from the brainstorming part and move into the actual planning and the execution of the plan, it can look totally different than the original idea. So, again, that's what it is about opening to the how. So, yes, Spirit might be guiding you to do this, and in your mind, you're thinking one way. That's where you have to just let it go, because Spirit is also going to follow through, and they're going to let you know how they want you to do it. And it might not be exactly the way you're thinking about it. So, they're really saying just let go of all of that. Just open up to receiving the ideas, because there is a lot of change. I feel a lot of change coming out there for all of us. For myself, for Kitty, for us together with IOTS. And it's just, there's just so much change. But do we know what it is exactly? No, not exactly. Are we going to go into the fear mode or the control mode where we're trying to go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this? No, we're just going to go, hey, it's almost like you're just going to throw your hands up and go, hey, all right, if that's what you're giving me, I'm taking it, and I'm just going to let it happen. And I'm trusting that you are going to show me how to do it, because right now, some of those things seemed really off the wall to me. But that, I guess that's just where I'm in that brainstorm, in that. But I also, and Kitty alluded to this a little bit as well, I also get a little trickster energy. I don't know if it's, I don't know exactly what that will mean for everybody. A trickster energy could mean just somebody who's just not being honest, or maybe trying to manipulate a little bit, or trying to get under your skin. Whatever that trickster, I think it might be different for different people, but it's just beware that the trickster's out there this week. And so they might not be upfront and honest, and everything might not be as it appears, because the trickster is fooling you. So what I'm hearing is, don't be fooled by the trickster. See them for what they are.
And I'm hearing including your own personal trickster, what they're telling you. A little harder one to spot sometimes.
That's right. It could absolutely be the trickster in you. All right, so I'm going to pull a few cards here from Metatron's deck before I hand it over to Kitty. Just tell us what the stars are going to tell us. Okay, well, these are making sense. Oh, all of a sudden I got a really, really warm burst of energy.
Me too.
Ooh,
Same time.
I think
right
it's
up my
everybody
back.
out there watching us.
Yes.
It's
Very
everybody out
much
there
so.
watching us. I can feel their energy being sent, and that's why I love to go live. Okay, these are great cards here. Great cards. First, we got 24, the orange card, connection and attunement. Okay, so this is a beautiful card. And look at that pose. Look at, again, what did I say? Open up. All right, and look at all that beautiful orange yellow energy, that solar plexus, that sacral energy that are coming to you and saying, you know, we are giving you this information, so just receive it. He feels very much like he's in the receiving mode, not the planning mode, but the receiving mode. And if you need some help, number 18, Mother Earth, grounding and support. So this is a good time to do some of that, okay? So again, don't get all in your head. Don't get all about someone put the devil's in the details. Well, let him rest.
That was
Don't
Mary.
Mary. Don't go into the details. Just go into the receiving mode and stay grounded and say, okay, I'm going to trust that you're telling me I'm going to do this, and I'm also going to trust that you're going to tell me how and when. When is also a very big one. Divine timing. And 42, go with the flow and just paddle on. So this might just be a good week. And you know what? What a great week coming off of of this busy season, and we still have New Year's going, um, to just kind of go with the flow, you know, just be in that mode where you're just flowing, and whatever's meant to be is going to happen. And that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to pull a few more spirit message here, but I liked those cards because I really think they resonated with what I was kind of saying there. Go with the flow. Ah, this kind of goes with go with the flow, and it popped out serenity. If you're a big Seinfeld fan like me, do you remember when
Yeah.
Costanza's dad was yelling, "Serenity now!" Don't do it like that. It wasn't very. That
Hi,
wasn't
Marcia.
serenity. What's that?
Marcia just joined us. She's the Facebook user.
Oh, okay. So serenity, the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. Okay, that's right. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. So go with the flow. Get into that serenity. Open up to receiving. Ground yourself. Those all sound like really, really great cards and great advice for this week. All right, Kitty, take it over. Tell us what the stars got to say.
Well, it's interesting because it is about going with the flow, because on the 28th, 29th, our expansion planet moves into that Pisces, that sense of flow. That's a big player now that as we enter this new year. We moved that energy of expansion from that air energy of intellect into that emotional flow like the river. Highest version is that ascended masters, but the lowest version is that getting stuck in the rocks and mired down, that suffering. So that is a big kind of lesson this week, is the wounds are appearing, folks. Your wounds of your DNA wounds, your ancestral wounds, your lifetime wounds, but you have a new KNEW perspective to deal with it. So if you can step back and even hear your own patterns, if you find yourself reacting in some old ways, it's just to highlight that you have different knowledge this week to use that serenity and change. Nope, I'm not going to get myself into this. I'm not going to be triggered or annoyed or all of those things. And last week we said if you could watch, be the observer, you'll start to see those things that trigger you. This week, the triggers step forward and you have a chance to change them. So we started out yesterday with a whole lot of things are sitting in this Capricorn energy, including the sun of structure and limitations and boundaries, having you figure out how I move forward, not only setting my own boundaries, but I can let go of some of the limitations I've now put upon myself. And today is all about activating that will in Mars that went into Sagittarius just a couple weeks ago, about truth. What truths are stepping forward with me? And in check this week is Uranus, the chaos planet. So even though it feels chaotic, it's really about old wounds versus new things stepping forward. There are protections coming right above. You've already begun the change. This is a week to kind of practice before I go into that new year.
So, Kitty, do you think the trickster energy could be that right there? And why you said that it could be the trickster within us, that makes perfect sense.
Because as those wounds appear and people trigger them, it's your trickster that wants you to pay attention now. But you remember, this is a new perspective, a KNEW perspective. I do know something different how to deal with this. And then on the 28th, we have this moon in Scorpio just before we go into, the moon is in Sagittarius on New Year's Eve for truths and freedoms and stepping forward. And so we've got this last little bit of Scorpio that's going to be working in our structures with the moon this week. So on the 28th is when late at night, 11:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for some people it is going to be the 30th. that Jupiter energy moves into Pisces. It wants that ascended master's expansion. I can step back and rise above. And I can look that trickster and say, that's just me. I have other ways that I can go forward. And it's an interesting day on the 28th because a lot of things, Mercury and Venus and Pluto are all in squares, kind of holding each other off. So your change, your relationships, your communication is all sitting kind of squared with the idea of changing. So especially on this, so that's Wednesday, you'll see those wounds kind of step forward for you to just take a look. They're kind of being held, so they're held in front of you. But what is working real well that day is you've got that moon in this new Jupiter energy pushing into your dreams to expand and look at the things that I have changed, look at the way I can deal with my wounds. They are actually, a lot of them are healed. You've already begun this change. It's now to bring your attention to it very consciously. And then on the 29th, we've got a lot of things working in the background with your structures, with epiphanies. You'll be getting ready for that New Year's Eve with, oh, this is this, and this is what I want to do, and changing. And again, that chaos energy is really kind of held back this week. It's either held stepping back in the Taurus energy, or it's just completely holding still and waiting to see what is it to be expansion. So when you feel the chaos, it's about something older this week. And then on the 30th, the communication with self and structures really steps forward to walk into that new year. Truths and synchronicities are going to start showing up in big time by the end of this week. That helps you look at where have I set my limits that I can expand, and where do I need to put my limits that are boundaries. So really watch those synchronicities starting Wednesday and Thursday. Things are coming to you in messages far more direct in that time. And emotions are going to run high because you've got this expansion in this Piscean kind of flow against structure. So you really are looking for those places you're going to be shoring up or building a new structure. And then as we step into that 30th, we are shifting those structures, not only because it's a new year, but in general, the energies out there are, we've got the moon still in Scorpio, working with Pluto, with Venus, and with Mars all sitting there in both Sagittarius and in that Capricorn structure energy. We've got that moon trining Neptune, which is also sitting there in Pisces, wanting us to move forward. So we got a lot of real truth, freedom kind of energies stepping forth, wanting us to flow through. So that flow is a perfect card. And then on the 31st, it's a little quieter day for Auld Lang Syne. It is a little quieter day to reflect on the stars, and it's to hold off the chaos a little bit and have us be aware of those epiphanies coming in on the 31st. Be very interesting as you pass into that energy of the 1st. Now, we are planning to come on the 1st, somewhere between 12 and 12:30, to have just kind of a, let's call it a new KNEW year celebration, where we're going to ask people, it's going to be a Zoom, it's going to be open to everyone, just have a chance to, we'll do a little bit of a meditation, we'll pull cards for people, a little chance for people to share their kind of ahas that they've been noticing this week, to kind of start our year off together, as we like IOTS, we are all here walking each other home, and it's a safe place to explore and learn from each other. So that's our New Year's KNEW years. Let's call it a party. That we maybe we'll come up with a more creative name.
To party?
But it's our new KNEW of Knowledge Year celebration. Let's start the calendar year off right. Of course, it's not the end of the astrological new year. That's not till March. But but it is our new calendar year. A lot of interesting things coming up, changes for IOTS, changes in this world and in the structure. So you're all invited.
That's right,
Come
because
on.
we wouldn't be here without you. And I think it's just a really great way to celebrate our community and just to kind of set that intention for the year that, we want to build all these things with you, for us, kind of thing. So I think that's a great way to kick it off and to take that energy into the new year by
Yep.
gathering and partying, if you will. But, if you have a New Year's Eve party that you go to, you might be all partied out, but that's okay. You can party
So-
whatever way you want. But I just think it's a good way to, just kind of bring in the new year with the collective and with all of you that have supported us through this last year, and hopefully will continue to support us through this next year as we have some beautiful, amazing, and unknown, because they're still coming in, things that we'll be doing next year. So I love that. I grabbed a few final spirit card messages, and love is your energy. Boop. Love. Okay, there we go. Love is your energy for this week. So stay in that nice, beautiful heart chakra. Especially as Kitty said, with yourself. Okay? It's not a time to, if those things come up, to take it out on yourself. Just stay in that love energy. I really think that's where you need to hold yourself for whatever is happening this year, and have an attitude of gratitude. Have an attitude of gratitude. And well, you can never have enough gratitude, but I think that this is special too, because as we go into that new year, do you want to go in and carry the energy into that new year with love and gratitude, or do you want to carry it in with something else? So if you can think of it like that, be grateful for the year. Has it been perfect? Maybe not. Have there been some great things that's transpired this year? Absolutely. It all is, about your perspective and about your life, what's happened. But there is always a place for gratitude in anything that's happened this year that we are ushering out. And so let's plan on taking in the love and the gratitude energy into the new year.
Yep.
Enough said, mic drop.
So we will be doing a combination party, and so I didn't purposely do the energy of the first because we'll open up the New Year's Eve party, New Year's Day celebration. Together with talking about what the energy. It's kind of interesting, the energy as we enter this brand new year, where the planets are going to be. Do some cards, a meditation, just have some fun together, celebrate our new year together.
I love it, love it, love it. I hope you can join us. And if you can't, watch the replay, because that energy will be there for you whenever you watch it. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Sorry the vibe of the week was a day late, but it's okay. Everything's been great. All right. Have a great week. We'll see you New Year's
Day.
Day.
Aloha oi.
Oi.